Okay, so I want to do 3 things with you now. Is that okay? Number 1, I want us to discuss the skin. Number 2, I want us to discuss a brand new product. And number 3, I want us to have some experts up here on the platform to show us how to work this lovely new product. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Good. So let's think about the skin, and many of you remember all of this training when you were at school, but I just want to remind you because we are developing a theme here and we want to look at the difficulties relating to skin as we grow older. So, the functions of the skin, as you remember when you were taught, are to keep our bodily fluids and tissues in place, to protect us from external stimuli like the sun, heat, cold, bacteria and electricity, to provide the brain with information about touch, pressure, cold, heat and pain, to dispose of biochemical waste, mainly salts and acids, to regulate body temperature through perspiration, to absorb vitamin D for calcium absorption, and to provide a visual impression and help determine sexual attraction. So those are the functions of the skin in general. The physiology of the skin is made up really of 3 different sections, but while it's not often admitted, the skin is the largest organ of the body. So that makes up about 2 square meters. Of course, the first section is the epidermis, the top surface of the skin, which is divided into 2, the stratum corneum, or the horny layer, and the living epidermis. And that layer, the epidermis, is renewed every 27 days from below. The palms and feet have the thickest epidermis. Then, of course, we have the dermis, which is made up of the melanocytes, which gives us our color, the collagen, and the collagen and elastin together make up 75% and 4%, and they are critical for aging because they have to do with the pliability of our skin. The dermis is thickest on our back, and the subcutaneous, which is the 3rd level of the skin, is the fat. So we have the top level epidermis, the dermis, which is the thick under part of the skin, and then we have the lower level, which is the fat. The physiology of the skin is easily identifiable. The epidermis on the top, the dermis is made up of that section there, and the subcutaneous fatty area is made up of that. You remember all of those, I'm sure, when you learnt about the skin. But there are some interesting things about the skin because there are 2 routes of percutaneous absorption. That means 2 routes where you can actually penetrate the skin. The one is the transepidermal and the other is the transfollicular. So 2 ways of getting into your skin. Different substances have different coefficients of permeability, which means that different substances have different ability of being able to get into the skin. And so if you're going to do something about providing nutrition for the dermis, for example, you would want something with a high coefficient so that it is able to penetrate very effectively and get to that dermal area. It's interesting to note that the skin breathes and can be fed. There is an interchange of gases, and so the skin respires. Interesting to note. No matter how clean you are, we remain full of bacteria, and that is easily shown. Perspiration is an interesting function of the skin, and we have about 2.3 million sweat glands. Most of those are found on our hands and the soles and the forehead and the armpits. But there are 2 different kinds of perspiration. There is the eccrine glands, and they produce a clear, odorless fluid. They have a pH of between 4 and 6.8. And it's made up of about 98% water. They are spherical droplets, and they contain salts, lactic acid, uric acid, citric acid, ascorbic acid, and amino acids. And this kind of perspiration is in response to thermal stimulation. So the hotter you become, the more you perspire. On the other hand, there are the apocrine glands, and the apocrine glands are white to pale yellow secretion, and they only become activated post-puberty. So there's no apogland activity before puberty. Now, the perspiration that occurs here is in response to emotional stimuli, fever, anger, sexual stimulation. The major cause of objectionable odor is the decomposition of apocrine sweat by bacteria. It's not the eccrine perspiration, it's the apocrine perspiration that become objectionable. So, antiperspirants reduce eccrine sweat gland, and normally the active ingredient is aluminium chlorhydrate, but astringents cause shrinkage of the skin and local inflammation, and deodorants, which are deodorants reduce bacterial adversity of apocrine cells. So let's have a look at 5 different problems relating to the skin. The first problem is aging and drying. In aging, we lose elasticity, and it's a very easy test. All you do is, with your fingers, you get the back of your hand, you lift that skin as high as you possibly can, and then you suddenly let it go. And if it goes zoop, back into place, great skin. If it takes quite a long time to go back, then we have one of those aging skins. So don't let anybody else see what happens there. The second problem relating to skin, of course, is the sun and light, and harmful ultraviolet B rays cause dehydration and the onset of solar keratosis, and then later skin cancer. Fluorescent lighting has an effect in terms of light, and the warmer the light, the more dangerous it is. So the color rendering index gives us the CRI for the different kinds of light. Just a word on the sun for a moment, if I may. The sun produces vitamin D, and it produces vitamin D3, as you know. 20 minutes exposure to the sun, and without having to be just in my swim costume, just this area of the skin for 20 minutes will probably produce about 10,000 international units of vitamin D. The sad thing is that most people in the world today are deficient in vitamin D, which simply means that they don't expose to the sun on a moderate basis daily. So most people go on vacation, and when they go on vacation, they're exposed to the sun for 12 hours a day, and they become very, very dehydrated. The skin is damaged, you develop solar keratosis, which is residual and keeps going, and that's damaging. I am a great believer in the skin. I do not believe in protecting the skin with sun protection agents. I don't believe in that, because what it does is it screens out vitamin D. So if you are going to have a moisturizer, for example, and it's got a sunscreen in there, it's going to take away vitamin D. However, if you're going to expose to the sun for any period of time, then you have to have a sun protection agent, because then you're going to harm yourself. I am talking for the short exposure of 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes in the sun. You don't need protection for that, because you want major conversion to vitamin D. Okay? Then, the next problem that we have is plaquing and blocking. Not something we like talking about too much. But plaquing is when we allow dead skin cells and catarrh to accumulate on the skin surface. Blocking is when we use antiperspirants, because in women they can predispose to lymphatic congestion and to fibroadenosis, and I've put a question mark there. Because the jury is out, but I don't believe the jury is out. I believe that if you're going to abnormally block the pores of the body and let it hold toxic material in the body and build up in that area, you are going to predispose to damage in the breast tissue. And in my humble opinion, and it's only an opinion, I believe that antiperspirants are one of the causes of breast cancer. There are many causes. I believe that they are one of them. You can't block the cells. They are there to do a very, very important function, and they should be eliminating waste in the body. So, you need to use a deodorant, not an antiperspirant. Very, very big difference. How can you get rid of plaquing? We'll come to that in a minute. The other problem we have, of course, is acne and eczema, and acne is most commonly caused by overeating and a high daily kilojoule intake, and it's aggravated by hormonal imbalance. Eczema is the body's early warning system. Erythema, we call it, where the body skin becomes red, and it is showing an immune compromise. So it's the beginning of the demonstration of an allergy. So an eczema is related to allergy, which is related to immune incompetence. Of course, we understand that. All right, and the last problem associated with the skin is circulation. With increasing age, we have slower circulation, and we have poor venous circulation, and therefore we have visible veins. Now, one of the biggest problems is flying in aeroplanes today. Because when you fly in aeroplanes, the seats are designed in a strange way that blocks your venous circulation. So that if you are spending a lot of time in aeroplanes, you will find a great increase in congestion, and so you have the demonstrable varicose veins. 5 problems associated with skin. So, what do we do about improving our skin health? How do we fix this? How do we fix it so that we look younger, so that our skin performs better? Well, there are at least 3 different ways of doing it. The first way is by digital editing. So, here you have a before, and here you have an after. Here you have a before, and here you have an after. Here you have a before, and here you have an after. Here you have a before, and here you have an after. So, digital imaging does magnificent things for our skin. Absolutely wonderful. There are other ways that we can look after our skin, and that includes the intervention of plastic surgery. And you can do magnificent things with plastic surgery. And the plastic surgeons today are getting cleverer and cleverer. Have a good look. And nobody believes your thighs are as thin, as that thin, without surgery. Of course, some of our celebrities have used plastic surgery as an intervention, and in my opinion, they haven't been enhanced by the process, but maybe retarded by the process. What a nice looking young man on the left-hand side. Even our celebrity singers are using interventions, and Kenny Rogers in 1987, I think, looked great. In 2006, well, he's still looking great, I guess. Nice man. All right. Plastic surgery has its place. But there's a third way. And the third way is an active, topical application to the skin itself, when you can bring science and treatment and look after it carefully. So first of all, let's think about the concept of moisturizing. Moisturizing is hydration and not nourishment. So a moisturizer is not meant to feed the skin, it is meant to protect the skin from dehydration and hold the moisture in place. Because if you can hold the moisture in place, then you will not have dehydration and drying and aging. Hydrotherapy and cleansing is important because, remember, we thought about one of the problems being plaque. So here's the way to get rid of plaque. Now, just we're family for a minute, so don't get distressed by what I'm saying. If you have a hot bath and you stay in that bath for 20 minutes, and it's got to be a hot bath, and then you start rubbing yourself and eliminating plaque, you will be surprised what comes away. You may want to have a sauna bath, and the same thing will happen after 20 minutes. You will be able to eliminate an enormous amount of plaquing. If you go to a, what are those other baths? Steam bath. If you go to a steam bath, exactly the same thing happens. So after a little period of time, you are able to get rid of that plaquing. Now, it's a little gross, isn't it, to even think about it? But just think what you're doing. You are doing something wonderful for that skin, because you're actually getting rid of plaque that is preventing respiration, preventing nourishment, and causing long-term problems for you. So, my recommendation to you is go through an anti-plaquing exercise once every week or once every 2 weeks, okay? Either go to a steam bath or a sauna bath, or for 20 minutes in your own bath. Supplementation, of course, can be used. Vitamin B, vitamin C, vitamin A, and zinc are all extremely important for skin health. We will not use deodorant, antiperspirants. We will use deodorants. We will promote perspiration, because perspiration is the body's elimination mechanism to get rid of problems. We will protect with suntan lotion only if there's long exposure to the sun, and underwear should allow for breathing. Of course, it is important to use a deodorant, because if we don't, our birds die. And the other thing, of course, is that our socks can cause a lot of damage. But today, we are introducing a very, very special treatment product that has been well researched, and we are very fortunate to have the actual formulator with us here today, who is the chief formulator for a big company in Dallas, and he is a chemist, and he's going to be talking to us in a little while and tell us what he thinks of this particular formula. It is a treatment range, scientifically developed, so that you and I can end up looking better and younger. Is that a good deal? The product is known as Cuvée, and that's what it looks like. A magnificent, magnificent product. Just to go very quickly and to explain to you what we've put into there, the first ingredient is called tissue respiration factor, TRF. TRF is a very specially constructed ingredient made by a food matrix process. So this is a food matrix ingredient. It has been used successfully in this country for special treatment formulas, and we are very fortunate to be able to have it in our product. It enhances oxygen uptake, and because it is food matrix, it has a specialized delivery system, so that, you remember what I told you earlier, its percutaneous absorption has a very high coefficient, so it is able to get into the body, into the skin, and because it's got a delivery system, it is able to nourish the dermis, because it is able to go to its destination. We are also using FoodMatrix SOD, superoxide dismutase, very powerful antioxidant itself, and it reduces scar tissue. It helps reduce scar tissue, especially following radiation for breast cancer, and it helps reduce facial wrinkles and lighten dark hyperpigmentation. So this product is based on FoodMatrix technology. We also have included grape seed extract, an important topical ingredient today, and we use it, of course, extensively for oral products, but also used now for the skin. It leaves a particularly lovely look on the skin, a glossy look. It is high in omega-6 fatty acids. It helps repair damaged areas and delicate areas in the body, especially around the eyes, and it helps blood vessel strength and protects against collagen breakdown. Hyaluronic acid has been used for a number of years now with great success in special treatment products. It is widely distributed through connective tissue. It is a major component of the skin and it is involved in tissue repair. It is a promoter. Interestingly enough and paradoxically, it promotes inflammation and then fixes inflammation. And perhaps the reason for that is that inflammation is a healing process in itself. And so it promotes it and helps reduce it. It functions in the re-epithelialization process, and it is used to treat dry, scaly skin. We also used soybean fiber, a major function to boost collagen function. So you and I want better collagen and better elastin. Then we added a new ingredient, and this ingredient has very recently been produced by our FoodMatrix factory, and Dr. Masood is very, very proud of this ingredient because he's been working on it for a long time, and that is FoodMatrix Resveratrol, now to be used for the first time in skin application. It acts as an antioxidant, it has an anti-inflammatory effect, but because of its technology, it is able to enhance the delivery mechanism and the penetration through the skin. It revitalizes your skin and reduces the signs of aging, and it helps reduce the appearance of wrinkles and lines. So, why should we use Cuvée? Here are a number of reasons why. It improves skin tone by promoting the production of collagen. It reduces the appearance of wrinkles by improving the skin's structural integrity. It lifts and forms the skin and smooths the appearance of expression lines. It increases hydration and improves overall appearance of the skin. It maintains healthy skin cells, and it reduces the visible signs of aging and smooths, softens and moisturizes. It maintains younger looking skin. A whole series of benefits relating to the particular technology that is used. Now, who can use this? Well, maybe not that young, but certainly it is great for men too. And I don't know why men have thought that they shouldn't use these kind of treatments in the past. You can actually see why they haven't used them, but they should be using them with their ladies. And so, we have presenting to you today Cuvée, and all of that is theoretical. I want us to get practical now for a minute, and I'm going to ask Jan Coombs and I'm going to ask Robert if they'd come to the platform. The two of them are going to help us understand the practicality of these products. So we need some extra chairs here, Kev. And we are going to speak to Jan first. Jan, if you'll come around there and come up the stairs, and Robert, if you'll come around there, please. Jan is going to give us her personal experience of using this product for the last 4 weeks. And Jan is an expert. Just tell me this profession that you belong to.
An esthetician.
Esthetician. Jan is an esthetician. So she's been involved in this business for years and years and years in her life. And so she's well able to make discernment about good products and bad products. And she now has the advantage of having used them for 1 month. So Jan, you tell us what you think about this product.
Oh my goodness. Am I on?
You're on.
Okay. Okay. Not quite yet. No. I tell you, words are not really adequate. It's that good of a product. When I first tried it, I was excited about the opportunity to be able to try it. I knew, being a Sportron product, it was going to be amazing. I was not prepared for how amazing. I mean, it is absolutely incredible, this product. I've worked in a lot of spas, a lot of salons. So I've had the opportunity to use a lot of different products, and a lot of people, you know, bring new products and say, try this one out. Cuvée is just off the charts amazing. The very first time that you put it on, you feel a difference. It's not greasy, it's not filmy. After you've used it for just a couple of days, you see a difference in your skin. As we age, there's little platforms between the epidermis and the dermis that kind of separate those two and let the oxygen go through and keep the moisturization in there and let the nutrients flow. And as we age, those little portals just kind of flatten out. So the area between the two areas of skin, the epidermis and the dermis, gets smaller, and it's harder to get nutrients to the dermal layer. Well, that's one of the first things that I noticed about this product was I could feel my skin kind of plumping up, you know. I could see a lift. I could see a difference in the tone. I could see a difference in the brightness of the skin. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely amazing.
Jan, I want you to show us how we apply it on a daily basis. Can we get somebody up and
great,
you show us how we actually do it?
Yeah, absolutely. Marissa, right?
Okay.
Come on up.
Give Marissa a hand. Okay, do you have some with you?
No.
Okay, Marissa, you sit here. We're gonna look at you. We're all gonna look at you. Jan is going to show us how we apply this product.
First of all, this packaging, isn't that awesome? First of all, whenever you're putting product on the skin, you don't need a whole lot, and especially with this product, it's so condensed, it's so amazing the way it glides and as smooth as it is, you don't need much at all. So actually, you just put a small amount, start out with a very small amount. I'm right-handed, I don't know why I put that on my left hand. But you always go forward, you always go up and forward, and my hands are probably cold, I apologize. But just take a little bit and lift it up through the area. Don't forget the neck, and just always lift forward and up. Okay, so tell me, what's your very first impression?
Feels like a big drink on my face.
It really does. It really does. You can feel your skin just absorbing it and just taking it in. It's absolutely amazing.
It smells good too.
It does.
I can see a big difference already.
Left side might look much better.
Yeah, you're already. But yeah, just a small amount is all you need. Upward strokes, just very light. You also apply with your ring finger. There's just less damage when you use that finger because there's less muscles in that finger than in either finger. So it's always a good idea to use that finger, concentrate on areas. Another thing around the eyes, you'll notice a difference around the eyes. The grape seed oil extract strengthens the integrity of the blood vessels, and as we age, those blood vessels in that area tend to break, and that causes the darkening under the eyes. So you can use it. It's great to use under the eyes, and you'll start noticing a difference of those dark circles under the eyes too. So that's another awesome quality of the product. So tell me what you feel after you're just feeling it for a little bit on your skin.
It feels, it's a little bit cool, but it felt really like a big drink on the face.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, absolutely.
Do the other side. Wow.
And same thing on the forehead. Always go up.
So you can never
Not this side.
Okay, Jan, let me ask you this. When is the best time to apply this?
Morning and evening. And you got to put it on first thing in the morning before you put on your makeup. makeup, and the evening after you've cleansed your face, put it on in the evening as well before you go to bed.
Okay, so when you're going to bed, you're not having anything else, no nourishing, you're just using this on its own. Okay, so before you apply your makeup.
Right,
Okay.
before your foundation.
Before you apply your makeup, okay. Do you feel good?
I do.
You look wonderful.
Thank you.
Okay, now talk to the men a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. I think we've kind of gotten away from that. I mean, years ago, men didn't put anything on their face except soap, and so you've got to cleanse, like Dr. Tomlinson said. You've got to keep the pores open so that you can excrete toxins, but at the same time you can take in nourishment, that the skin can take in nourishment. That's the neat thing about the Cuvée. When I realized that I had the FoodMatrix system, there's not another product out there that moisturizes but nourishes the skin with compotants and different ingredients, and has a delivery system to where it can actually get into the skin and your skin can, receive benefit from it. So that amazed me. But back to the men. You guys have the same exposure to sunlight, to pollutants, to all the different environmental things that cause your skin to age. Your skin ages too. It's awesome for men to be able to use that. There's no telltale signs. No one knows you're using it until they start noticing that you're looking younger, and then they definitely know that you're using it. But yeah, it's something that men should absolutely be using as well. Another thing is on the hands, because that area is exposed to sunlight a lot, and so it'd be an awesome product to use, on your hands. I don't know why my mind works this way, but I was thinking when you were talking about the muscles of the skin, and it dawned on me for the first time, your face does not have any erector pili muscles. I know that doesn't mean anything right now. The erector pili muscles are the muscles at the very end of the hair follicles that give you goosebumps. Your face doesn't have those. That's just, you guys, can you imagine if you had those and you got cold while you were shaving? It would be a little disastrous, but your face doesn't have those. But the fact that it has the hydrolyzed soy protein that can penetrate into the skin, into the dermis, and start reproducing the collagen and the elastin, they make up this mesh work that holds up those muscles and keeps that firmness there. Just the whole idea of the FoodMatrix technology delivery system in a product that's going to moisturize, an anti-aging product, is just absolutely phenomenal.
That is. Now, let me tell you something. Keith has used it for 1 week. Can you believe that? How different he looks?
20 years younger.
Yeah. Absolutely. Have a good look just now. You'll see what happens in 1 week. Jan, thank you so much. Okay, you stay here. We're going to talk to Robert. Do you want to go now? Marissa? Thank you so much. Robert? Okay, I'm going to ask you some straight questions now, all right?
Okay.
You must be very honest.
Okay.
Is this a very good product?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It flat out is. The hydrolyzed soy protein, it was clinically tested against a leading manufacturer's product. Am I allowed to use their name?
Yeah.
I'll just use your initials. P&G. And the P&G product was used at 2%. The soy fiber was used at 0.1%. And outperformed. It wasn't like a little outperformance, or it wasn't little equivalent, but this is the one that just knocked it over. And P&G produces a product that's on the TV that's selling, hey, we sell $700 creams.
Oh, it's about 5 something,
And here we have a product that's been, created to outperform. And
now, Kevin, you are in charge of formulation at your manufacturing concern, aren't you?
Yes.
And you're the vice president of formulating. Isn't that true?
I'm one of them, yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you've seen a lot of products.
Mm-hmm.
Should we be proud of this product?
Extremely.
Okay. What's special about it, apart from what you already explained to us? Some of the other ingredients.
It's a very encompassing product because it's not just handling the anti-aging. It has a very deep protection to it with the strong antioxidants. with the resveratrol, the green tea, the SOD. The SOD is amazing in itself. Usually when an antioxidant is taking out the oxidative species from the cells that's occurred by UV damage, what it does is it breaks down because it can't release that energy. But the SOD, what makes it very unique and very special is that it can release that energy in benign forms, and it can continue to protect. Where it's constantly protecting your skin, your cells from UV damage, and that's very important and is often overlooked by the $700 greens.
In your experience, have you ever used resveratrol before?
No.
Number one. Isn't that wonderful? We're number one in the world. FoodMatrix Resveratrol. I think that makes us very unique, don't you think so?
Extremely.
Yeah. So SOD, resveratrol, and tissue regeneration factor, 3 FoodMatrix ingredients with high permeability factor and with a delivery process. I mean, you can't get better than that. Okay, if you had to use a product tomorrow morning, Robert, which one would you use? I can see that you, hey, it's wonderful to be down here.
Well, it is and it isn't. Do a quick survey here. Who is in their 30s? Who's in their 20s? Just so everybody knows, in your 20s, your body stops producing collagen. And at that time, you know, that's when the oxidative damage really starts taking effect. That's when it really starts this cascade effect. Because when you're 20s, you don't see as much. In your 30s, you don't see as much. But the 40s, the 50s, that's when you really start seeing it. Because your body in the 20s has stopped producing that collagen, that plumping, that firmness in your skin. It's not being regenerated. Here, we're replenishing it. We're telling these signals, these markers that have always been there, hey, wake back up. These systems, you know, these systems need to continue to work, and that makes a very big difference.
Do you also agree with Jan that men should use this product?
Yes.
Every day?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
Yes.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Okay, anything else you want to tell us about this product that's special?
Yes, the sodium hyaluronic that we use in this product is very interesting because it absorbs 100 times the amount of water, that moisture that you need for all of these mechanisms, these applications to actually work. And here, you know, it's brought down, it's put into the dermis right where it can do the most good, and it's just an amazing product.
That's wonderful. Now, we've given this product to a number of other people, haven't we, Keith?
We have. There's also
dermatologist tested and approved? Okay. That's independent body now, not in your company.
Yes.
It's independently tested. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're very, very, very proud of Cuvée. We want you to have a look at it afterwards, and we're very thankful for these 2 expert people who have helped us understand this product a little bit better.